On this week's episode of Bayou Wild TV,
we don't have lifeguards on our beach here in Louisiana, so we said let's start with some life rings and some throw bags in case someone gets in distress and needs the attention and needs help, from the riptide and stuff like that. Life jackets do save lives, so at this point in our endurance here, we gave over 1,500 life jackets that we partnered up with Children's Water Safety. So it's something that you don't think about until it happens to you, and that's how it started.
Everybody has a pool and everybody has ponds, or everybody goes to the lake or fishing down here in Grand Isle. So just having that and bringing awareness about it, it's been awesome.
Yeah, giving back is always a great opportunity, and that's just staying in touch with the community. So I'm going to give back as much as I can, and I know that's what they do here.
Riley always loved his blue boots, and we were sitting there one day thinking about what to name our foundation, and that's how it came about. His little blue boots with orange bottoms, and he always wore them. So we couldn't help but think that's the best name to name it.
Yes, his short time of here on the face of earth was very little, but he has come alive with these boots and saving lives.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Global Outdoors. Find your next adventure and share your experiences with others by downloading the Global Outdoors mobile app or visiting globaloutdoors.com.
Every day, we strive to preserve traditions that have spanned generations.
Around every turn of the bayou, Mother Nature reveals unique people, places, and experiences.
And the bounty of animals and fish. Well, in Louisiana, we just call that lagniappe. I'm Don Dubuque.
I'm Chris LeCoq.
I'm Captain Martha Spencer. Join us as we document the adventure,
sportsmanship,
and heritage that make us Bayou Wild.
it's summertime along the Gulf Coast, which means fishing rodeo season is in full swing. We've reached the dog days of summer along the Gulf Coast, with many people spending much of their time outdoors. In Louisiana, that often means in the pool, on a boat, or near a waterway. Yet we often forget how quickly a fun day outside can turn into a tragedy, which is where this week's story begins. Meet the Bourgeois, a typical South Louisiana family with a love of the outdoors and sports. But for Darby and Nicole Bourgeois, their story is also one of tragedy. In 2018, their son Riley John Bourgeois lost his life in a drowning incident. In the wake of their loss, Nicole and Darby would establish the Blue Boot Foundation in memory of their son Riley, and the mission is simple: to end childhood drowning through education, engaging communities, and implementing change.
We did know that we didn't want anyone else to have to go through this tragedy, and so to be able to help others not be able to have to endure this, we thought to educate people was the best way of going about remembering his name and bringing the awareness to childhood drowning, and the only way to do that is water safety education.
Yeah, we're from Lafourche Parish. Grand Isle was the closest little, beach to us, and we don't have lifeguards on our beach here in Louisiana, so we said let's start with some life rings and some throw bags in case someone gets in distress and needs the attention and needs help, from the riptide and stuff like that. Life jackets do save lives, so at this point in our in our endurance here, we gave over 1,500 life jackets, and we partnered up with Children's Water Safety. So it's something that you don't think about until it happens to you, and that's how it started. On the way home after my son passed, I told my wife, I said, "Baby, we got to just try to save one life." And honestly, today we don't know how many lives we have saved doing what we have done.
Riley always loved his blue boots, and we were sitting there one day thinking about what to name our foundation, and that's how it came about. His little blue boots with orange bottoms, and he always wore them. So we couldn't help but think that's the best name to name it.
His short time of here on the face of earth was very little, but he has come alive with these boots and saving lives.
If you're lucky enough to bag a deer or a hog this season, bring it here to Double D. Double D processes hogs and exotic game and guarantees your product is always the meat you brought to Double D.
Double D Meats in Bogalusa, home of country smoked, spicy jalapeno cheddar, and other customized flavors.
Bring your deer or your hog here to Double D, where you always get your meat back in return. It's worth a drive to Bogalusa from anywhere. Double D.
Do you want to make sure you're doing things right when boating in Louisiana?
Make sure every occupant in your vessel is wearing the right type and size life jacket before leaving the dock. Size information for the intended wearer can be found on the information panel.
Make sure you stay safely to the right side of the waterway when you're operating in a narrow channel. Always choose to go right when it is safe and practical.
Make sure you're operating at the right speed for the given conditions every time you're boating. Just because your boat can safely travel at higher speeds in perfect conditions doesn't mean it should in a chop or when encountering other wakes or maneuvers.
In Louisiana, the best way to make sure that you're doing things the right way on the water is by attending and completing one of our boating safety education courses. Learn more and book a course at www.wlf.la.gov. These NASBA-approved courses are statistically proven to save lives. Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
When it comes to doing your thing on Louisiana waters, do the right thing.
Become a supporter of the Louisiana Wildlife Agents Association today by visiting supportlwaa.org. Browse the selection of exclusive gear, including t-shirts in a variety of colors and styles, plus hats, koozies, and more. Gear up today and support the LWAA. Continuing this week's episode, we're spreading awareness on water safety. It's the mission of the Blue Boot Foundation.
Life jackets do save lives. So at this point in our endurance here, we gave over 1,500 life jackets, and we partnered up with Children's Water Safety. So it's something that you don't think about until it happens to you, and that's how it started.
What began as a grassroots campaign has grown into a viral community effort to raise awareness to end childhood drownings. The Blue Boot Foundation accomplishes this through community outreach, providing swimming lessons and life-saving programs, and so much more. Highlighted each year with the annual Blue Boot Rodeo in Grand Isle.
This weekend has grown tremendously from our first year. We have a little story, Nicole and I, when we got home from the first year, we got in bed and we're like, what kind of monster we created? And lo and behold, 6 years later, it has grown extensively every year, and this year's our largest supporting year, and our volunteers and sponsors. So we're expecting a large crowd for our 6th year, and hopefully our 7, 8, 9 grows as big as this one did. So we're looking forward to it. And if you haven't come out, come experience the good time with the family-oriented team event we have, and your kids. It's more geared towards kids. So this is why we're doing this. Is like Nicole said, it's to help you guys around water and educate the people and the public about water safety.
beach trout, bro. You just have to go after them. They don't come easy. I fished 3 rodeos, didn't score anything. This one, last morning, I was able to bring a 3-pounder in the kayak.
One weekend a year, thousands of people visit Grand Isle to support the cause. It's an opportunity to expand the message that drowning is preventable, a message that has expanded much further than the Bourgeois family could ever have imagined.
Well, partnering up with the LSU baseball team is, it gives me the goosebumps. I mean, Gavin Dugas, the local guy from Homer, and I'll probably get tear up here, but he has become part of our family, and getting to know him and him jumping on board 4 years ago in 2020 and his parents coming and they've seen what we've done, and he geared us towards with Cade Beloso, Alex Milazzo, Dylan Cruz, Tommy White, Josh Pearson, and they're just some great kids and some great young men, and partnering up with them has been a huge success for our rodeo, bringing a lot more people that had no idea about Blue Boot Rodeo.
Something small we do on the baseball field is you'll see us one weekend, we'll wear Blue Boot cleats, and it'll have Riley John's face on it and the Blue Boot Foundation on it, and that's just another way for us to get people talking about what's the Blue Boot and what's the Blue Boot Rodeo, and get them down here to Grand Isle to learn about it. And and I think it can just relate to everybody here in Louisiana, because everybody has a pool and everybody has ponds, or everybody goes to the lake or fishing down here in Grand Isle. So just having that and bringing awareness about it, it's been awesome.
And them wearing the cleats, the couple weekends out of the year, it brings chills to Nicole and I's heart, and we couldn't be more honored and blessed to be a part of LSU baseball. And last year was so special with them winning the championship, and the guys coming signing autographs. We had a line for days, so the LSU baseball players have done a lot for us, and we love them guys.
Yeah, I think that's the situation that we're dealt with right now is you can take 2 roads. You can, you can help others and use this platform for good, or you can, use it for, try to be shamed and stuff like that. And that's just, those are the 2 roads that you really choose. And giving back is always a great opportunity. And that's just staying in touch with the community, helping others that, I'm in a good situation, so I don't need to, have everything. So I'm going to give back as much as I can. And I know that's what they do here. And that's what the community is doing well. It's like everybody, that's what I noticed about Louisiana, everybody just helps out one another. Nobody's left behind. Everybody's kind of just moving together, which is pretty awesome to see. I mean, everywhere in the world, you got people just trying to tear one another down to get to the top. But it feels like everybody here is trying to build each other up.
Kind of reminds you a little bit that baseball is just a game for us. And it puts into perspective a lot of things to be thankful for a lot of people, especially family members. And it was a horrific thing that happened, but at the end of the day, the family's doing a great thing about it. And they're putting Riley John on the map, and he's doing a great job up there, looking over everybody else and doing everything that they can to protect children and everything that they do in the future.
Plenty of people think that it cannot happen to them, and it certainly can, and that was our case, and it's just that people are surprised at how common it is. It's the leading cause of death in kids under the age of 4 years old, and then the second leading cause of accidental death in kids under the age of 14. And we just take for granted water, and drowning doesn't just happen in a swimming pool, it happens in all bodies of water, whether it be the pond at your house or the lake you're fishing out of, or for us, plenty of people are along the road fishing as well, so out in the boat. So it's just people are just unaware of how common it can, and you don't think it could happen to you, and that's one of the reasons why we did it, is because we don't want it to happen
to you. And to piggyback off of Nicole's statement here, it don't discriminate. I grew up on the water, my parents were trollers, so it can't happen to you is what you say, and you're saying you learn swimming lessons, and it happens. So we just trying to tell people and educate the people that it can possibly happen to you, so be very cautious around the bodies of water or even a swimming pool.
Blue Boot!
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemarie Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
In Louisiana, food brings everyone together. These are the flavors that make friends out of total strangers. The flavors that remind you of home. It's the meals you crave, that take time, that show love. Because in Louisiana, we cook. And we know that when we come together to cook and eat, life gets better. So pull up a chair, leave room for seconds, and pass a good time. Because life needs Louisiana flavor, baby.
You're watching Bayou Wild TV, award-winning outdoor programming. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or visit the website BayouWildTV.com to watch past episodes.
One of the reasons why Double D has been around for 50 years is because we are consistent with what built the business. And we go to great lengths to make sure that when you bring a deer or a hog or whatever it may be, your meat stays your meat all the way through the process. But we want to be as true to the original intent, which is a local meat company. And that's something that we want to maintain for as long as the Lord lets us do it.
Welcome back. We're here at White Oak Plantation with Chef John Fols. We caught a lot of fish this year, and I know you are the best man to come to when it comes to cooking fish.
Well, I tell you what, I love nothing more than to watch you on the front of the boat doing that all day long, thinking, how in the heck that little girl doesn't go flying over the side.
I have a low center of gravity. So what are we making today?
Well, we're doing a great mahi-mahi. Now, that's one of your favorite fish,
it's
right?
It's fun. Yeah, they dance on the water for
Oh,
you.
my God, man, what a great fish, too.
Yeah.
Now, the dish I'm doing today is a historic dish in Baton Rouge. One of the first residents in the city of Baton Rouge was a Prince Achilles Murat, who had come from France, got a land grant right on Nicholson Drive, where the old Prince Murat Hotel was, right outside of downtown Baton Rouge. And he kept all of his recipes. He loved the fish of the Mississippi, of course, because that was at his front door. And he had gardeners that he had brought in from France to bring all of the dishes in. And he recorded this particular dish as his favorite, this beautiful fish, Prince Murat, that we're going to cook today. So I resurrected this recipe from the 1700s.
And this is also a recipe that if you can't get mahi-mahi, you can cook with speckled trout or redfish or anything else.
You know, I think that's the general rule, period.
Yeah.
People get too hooked up on what do they have in the cooler or what do they have in the freezer. You know what?
All right.
Use it. So I have my cast iron pot here. Now you have the mahi-mahi, and I'm gonna just let you season that a little bit with the salt, pepper, and I have a little granulated garlic here, which I like a lot. I'm gonna let you just kind of season that that nicely, and we always want to put that good little bit of that's perfect, and nicely, and rub that pepper in with your hands there. I'm gonna start the sauce, and the sauce is gonna be the good thing about Prince Murad. He had gardeners, so we see bell peppers of different colors, a lot of garlic, we see onions, we see mushrooms, we see all these beautiful leeks. You see this nice leek, you were asking about that a minute ago. That's in his recipe as well. Carrots, and of course artichokes, he loved that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in this skillet over here. It might be a little easier for everybody right here just to drop it in there, because I'm gonna saute all of those vegetables quickly. And look at our array of vegetables here just to go on a beautiful piece of fish. Now, you know what fish he'd be. What fish in the Mississippi River would he be cooking at that time, you know? If you think about it. I mean, the big channel catfish, obviously. Some of those maybe garfish might have slipped in there as well. So I'm going to just saute that around for a second. I'm going to let you put that over there. Now I have your oil smoking, and you want it smoking to put that nice crust. So why don't we go ahead and put that right in here. You've seasoned it nicely. And you see I'm putting it in that nice hot skillet, right? You
want it to sizzle.
You want it to sizzle. And a lot of times people say, well, my fish breaks apart in the skillet. Why is that? Well, you got to let the oil dance around the fish or the meat and let it just crisp and cook on that side before you try to flip it over.
I think people, they get carried away with one side cooking too much, and then they end up flipping it too many times, and it falls apart.
And it just falls apart on them. So why don't you give me that little bit stock over there? I have just a little bit. Just pour about a half a cup in there for me. That's good. I'm going to just wet all of these carrots and mushrooms and all of that. And then right next to it, you see that cream, that heavy whipping cream over there?
This one.
Oh, yeah, he had cattle. Put about a half a cup of that in there. Oh, that's perfect right there. And I'm going to just cook all of this around to tenderize those vegetables. And again, this is typical of the 1700s because we don't eat that many vegetables today on one.
That is one thing we lack.
Yeah. We just kind of get a few carrots or a little white beans or red beans on the plate. They had an array of all of these different vegetables. So, what do you think about your fish?
I think it's almost ready to flip.
Yeah, I think it is. Why don't you go ahead and grab it, and you could either do it like a fish spat or just turn it over. Look at that.
Perfect.
Now, we didn't even put flour on the outside of that fish, right?
Don't need it.
You don't need it. Just got that nice crispness there. Now, you want to keep the inside of it nice and moist, but at the end of the day, the sauce is going to go on the bottom of the plate. We're going to season this. Why don't you give me a little salt, pepper? I'll dust it in there like that. And give me that Creole mustard, see right here? And I can put that in there as well. And you give me the lemon juice. So you see the fish is the main act. Yeah, just put a little bit of lemon juice in there. That's perfect. That's the main act, but at the end of the day, the sauce is going to bring the fish to fruition. Look at that right there, how beautiful that is.
Yeah, and this is a common fish in Louisiana in the summertime people catch, but if you don't have mahi, you can sub it with anything.
And I mentioned also we didn't dip it in a lot of milk, we didn't dip it in flour, you don't need any of that. Look how beautiful. And of course, I would put it right, I'd put like 6 pieces all around that sauce and let people come and just serve a spoon of it. Beautiful.
Looks delicious. We're gonna dig into some summertime mahi-mahi that Prince Murad would approve.
Yeah, that'll be on my menu at Revolution before too long. I promise you that, huh?
Hi, I'm Olivia Grace George, Miss Louisiana 2024. Did you know that Louisiana is one of the world's leading producers of propane gas? Of course, it's used for cooking, cleaning clothes, and heating homes, but it's always been used on farms and businesses across our state, as well as school buses and light-duty trucks. As America looks to cleaner, greener alternative fuels for our future, Louisiana's propane dealers stand ready to meet the need. For more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
stew in a few. We have stew in a few. Just call Uncle Larry and we'll have stew in a few. What you say, all right?
To quote an excerpt from the Blue Boot Foundation website, this is a story of both profound sorrow and inspiring legacy. It's a reminder that life is a precious, fleeting gift to be cherished and protected. Riley John Bourgeois will be forever missed and forever inspiring us to make the world a safer place for all children.
One of our state representatives came to us and said, hey, we need to get water safety passed. And we said, sure, Mr. Reggie Bagala. And so unfortunately he passed away due to COVID. But Mr. Joe Ogeron stepped up to the plate and left right up where Mr. Reggie had left up with us. And he came to us and said, hey, we need to get this legislation passed. So last year we were able to pass. It mandated that all public schools in Louisiana teach water safety education to grades K through 12.
I've always grown up on boats, hunting, whether I'm duck hunting just at the lake, you know, tubing with the family, or just lounging around, or down here in Grand Isle fishing. I've always been around that, but you never really think about it, but having pools in your backyard, I think just having more heightened awareness around certain situations like that, that's been the biggest thing for me.
We have several people on the Grand Isle Beach that have actually reached out to us that were in distress, that have used our life rings to be able to save their life. Yes,
And then, you know, with all the life jackets we gave away, again, we can't think about how many lives we have already saved. Them kids probably would have never been able to afford a life jacket or given a life jacket, and now they're able to lace that life jacket on, and that's a part of our saving lives.
As sportsmen, we too have a responsibility to carry on the mission of the Blue Boot Foundation, encouraging others to be aware of their surroundings and educating the next generation of outdoorsmen to safely enjoy the adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage of Bayou Wild.